Hello everyone, welcome back to HOWSTUFFINMYCARWORKS channel. On the last video I showed you how to test the cam sensor on this 1999 Volkswagen Beetle equipped with a 2-liter engine. In today's video I'm going to show you how to replace it and install a new timing belt at the same time. So let's get started. Start by removing the right front wheel to get access to the front pulleys. Next, make sure you have the routing diagram for the serpentine belt. If not, draw it out on a piece of paper and using a 15mm wrench, push the tensioner away from the belt like that, so you can release the tension and remove the belt. Next step is going to be to remove the upper timing belt cover. This engine is missing that cover. I mentioned that in the previous video, but in your case, go ahead and remove it. So once the upper timing belt cover has been removed, rotate the engine, and this mark right there that you see on the camshaft sprocket needs to be aligned up, and that is to make sure that the number 1 cylinder is in top dead center. So another mark that you need to look at, I'm actually holding a mirror from underneath the car. You can see the oil filter to the left of the camera, but this was the best angle that I could get. There's an inspection plug that you remove on the top of the belt housing towards the front of the vehicle. Remove that plug and you're going to see a mark as you rotate the engine that is going to let you know that the engine is in top dead center. So you're going to align that mark that's on the flywheel. To make my life easier, what I did, I painted that mark with a marker. And even though I'm going to install a new belt, I can always make a line on the belt so I know that it's completely aligned. It's up to you if you want to do it that way, but I'm just making my life easier. That way I can align it correctly when I put everything back together. Next step is to remove this 4 6mm Allen head bolts so you can remove this pulley. If you have air tools, it's going to be better to do it that way. That way the pulley doesn't move when you loosen them up. Otherwise, try to hold the pulley with one hand and loosen the bolts with another hand. Next, remove the 3 serpentine belt tensioner retaining bolts using a 13mm socket and ratchet, and remove the tensioner. Next, using a 10mm socket, remove this bolt, and this bolt, and remove this metal cover. Alright, so next, remove this bolt, and remove this cover, 10mm also. Here's another tip. You can use a marker to make a timing mark right there on the lower pulley and the engine. That way it's going to be a lot easier to align the marks correctly when you put the new timing belt. Alright, so I'm going to show you how I'm going to hold the camshaft from turning so I can loosen the bolt. What I'm actually using is a serpentine belt tool, but I put bolts and nuts at the ends right there so it can go into the camshaft sprocket. But in order not to damage the reluctor wheel that enables the camshaft sensor to send the signal, I put channel lock pliers right there to keep these two from coming together. That way they are as far out, touching the edge of the sprocket and not coming anywhere close to the reluctor wheel, because if it gets damaged, then the cam sensor is not going to get the signal and all the work that is being done is going to be useless. So that's how I'm doing it. You can use a camshaft holding tool. Obviously that's what they're made for. But whatever you end up using, make sure that it doesn't come near the reluctor wheel. And to loosen the bolt up, I'm going to use a breaker bar with the 18mm socket. Just like that. Next, loosen the timing belt tensioner using a 13mm wrench. Once the tensioner knot is loose, turn this part of the tensioner right there that you see moving. That way the tensioner is moved away from the belt, and remove the timing belt. I almost forgot, a super important thing when it comes to this 2-liter engine. You won't be able to remove the belt completely unless this mount is separated. But right now let's focus on the sensor, and then I'll show you how to remove the serpentine belt completely and install the new one. So now that the timing belt is out of the way, let's finish removing this and remove the camshaft sprocket. You may have to wiggle it a little bit. There it is. But see what I'm talking about right here? This is the part that you don't want to damage right here, because if you're using a camshaft holding tool and it bends these, well, good luck. And these are bent, they're just gonna destroy your brand new cam sensor. So it is super crucial to be very careful when holding this sprocket to loosen the bolt, and same thing to install it. Okay, so after removing the camshaft sprocket, I found out why the cam sensor failed. Looks like the cam seal is leaking a little bit, and oil started leaking on the sensor right here. Shouldn't look like that. Should look like this. Maybe not that shiny, but at least clean. So this just turned into a cam shield replacement job too. So I'm gonna go get a new seal, and then I'm gonna show you how to remove it and install it in case you have the same problem that this car has.